Welcome to our Women into Construction event here at Constructing South London.
I'll be your host today, and welcome everyone. Fantastic to see everybody. Really great to see so many women on board, at this event today, and hopefully you'll come away being able to know a bit more about construction, what opportunities there are. We have some fantastic guests with us as well, and we'll go through them shortly. Can everybody make sure that their microphone is on mute while we are being presented, etc., to obviously stop noise? If you have any questions, what we can do, there is a button, there is a hand signal. You can put your hand up for questions. Now, obviously with time as well, any sort of questions you have, etc., I'm going to stay behind for a bit afterwards. And also you all have my email address, so feel free to email me any questions you have. And if you do want to apply for any particular roles or training, then you can let me know, and I can then signpost you to the relevant person who is responsible for that training and or that employment. So yeah, once again, thank you very much. It's fantastic to see everybody here. Welcome. So what we're going to do initially, if I can get our guest speakers to introduce themselves one by one. I can't actually see them on my screen at the moment, some of them, but we'll start off with Anna, just do a very quick introduction, and then what we can do, we can move on to our programme of stuff that we can do. So Anna, if you'd like to start, please.
Yeah, I'm Anna Walterskotter. I'm the Senior Project Manager for Women into Construction, and I am here today really with Peter, because when he introduced me to this concept today, I said to him, if you wanted to support our women, the way to support them is really by creating jobs and putting those job opportunities in front of the women. So this is why we've got a really amazing panel of women here today who will tell us about the opportunities they have and employment opportunities as well as workplace opportunities. I came to London really not speaking English very well 30 years ago. I did a plumbing career for 13 years. I was an apprentice with the Housing Association Peabody, and I then after 13 years on the tools, I decided to go and teach plumbing and became the head of school for construction engineering in Hackney. And I've since then moved into supporting voluntary sector organizations to increase young people and women on building sites, and mainly with Women into Construction mainly delivers free employment programs to those women who are either new to the industry from other areas, or they have already qualified and they need to get their foot in the door with experience, or they come back to the labour market because they've been engineers before and then and they have had time out and want to come back. And there are programs for those, and my support from Women into Construction is CSCS cards, working on your CV, getting you in front of an employer with interviews, with and with job brokerage, work placements, and we are also offering remote mentorship programs for women into construction, where we match you with a mentor in industry. And we organize events such as this regularly, also through our own portal. And I'm really grateful for Peter to having me on board today and to allow our women to benefit from this. So it's nice to see all these names on the chat. And I look forward to hearing and seeing your faces later. Thank you.
Thank you. Kathryn, please.
Hi, my name's Kathryn Elliott. I'm Head of Business Development for South Thames Colleges Group, which is a group of 4 colleges across southwest London, which is South Thames College in Wandsworth, Kingston, Carshalton and Merton colleges. But I'll tell you a little bit more about what we do when it comes to my slot. But nice to see so many people here.
Thank you. Jackie, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Jacqueline and I'm Social Value Manager for a company called United Living. I'll tell you a bit about United Living later as well.
Yeah, and Carole Cook, please.
Hi, I'm Carole Cook. I'm Managing Director of an independent training provider who's been working with construction companies for longer than I care to remember.
Okay, Emily, please.
Hi everyone, I'm Emily. So I am the group administrator for Cousins. I've also got Tina with me today. A bit later on, myself and Tina are just going to give you a quick insight on the company and what opportunities we have as well.
Thank you. Amber, please.
Afternoon, everybody. Great to see you all here today. I'm Amber Rose Crossley. I'm the head of HR at Instalcom Limited. We're a utility contractor who work nationally, and I've got some exciting apprenticeship opportunities to talk to you about with relation to Kathryn and South Thames College Group. So look forward to speaking to you later.
Thank you. And finally, we have Emma from the DWP. So please, Emma, if you would.
You're on mute, Emma.
Yes, I was going to say, I'm trying to find
I knew that, but I did that on purpose because I never do it, and therefore I just wanted to just be like everybody else. Yes, hi everybody. I'm just really here just to make sure that I get a good understanding of I know some of the people that are talking today, but from everybody else's point of view, the kind of jobs that you're looking for as women, because I know that sounds really odd. Obviously, I'm the job centre and we have jobs. We have our partners that work with employers that have jobs, and we don't often get a lot of feedback from our customers who are signing on at the job centres about what they really want. So I'm going to be listening to that, not at you individually, but just those overall themes, just to give me some idea of the kind of stuff that you're looking for. Give me some insight, essentially. So thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much. Well, ladies, hopefully by the end of this, you'll all be either more excited than you are at the moment to be here, which is fantastic news. And yeah, it's great to see everyone again. Appreciate everyone taking the time out to come here. Certainly our guest speakers as well. So if I could start with Kathryn, if you take it away, Kathryn, it's all down to you.
Thank you. So yeah, as I said, nice to see so many people here today. I'm just going to do a bit of a quick overview really of what we do and sort of the work that we do with women before I hand over to Amber, who's going to give you sort of some information on some really exciting opportunities that we're working on. But as I said, I'm head of business partnerships at South Thames Colleges Group, and I've told you the 4 colleges. So we're spread across a large area of southwest London, and across all of our 4 colleges, we have construction courses in lots of different types of construction courses. And I'm not going to list every single course that we do. But we have full-time, part-time, apprenticeships, access to HE courses, lots and lots and lots of courses that you can look on the website and see what we've got. But one thing that is sort of common actually across all of our courses is that there aren't enough females on any of them. If you look into a construction classroom, if you see one female sitting in there, you know, that's well represented for females, and that has to change. It really has to change, and I feel quite passionately about getting more females into construction and into the construction industry. First of all, from a training perspective and an education perspective, a diverse classroom makes a far better learning experience for everybody. And then obviously a diverse classroom then leads to a diverse workforce, which again is better for everybody. It's better for the females, it's better for the males. So really for everybody here who is considering a career in construction or considering taking on a course in construction, I'd really urge you to have a look at the opportunities. From our perspective, females who do come to the college to study construction do really well. They then also do really well in the workplace. And all employers that I talk to are also really, really keen to take on more women. You know, as we all know, it's an issue across the whole sector that there aren't enough females represented. So actually, from your perspective, if it's something that you're considering, it's a really great move on your part, actually, to have a look at all of the different courses that are on offer, all of the different career opportunities that are on offer. Please do have a look at our website to see what we've got available. As I said, we've got everything: plumbing, electrical, gas, carpentry, you name it, we can offer courses in it, and we're working with employers who are looking for people just like you to enter the workforce. My colleague Hayley, who's here on the call, I'm not sure whether we will be able to hear her or see her, but she works at Carole College along with another colleague, Charlotte, and they're waving the flag for women in construction and are always trying to get more females involved. But really, that's just sort of it from my perspective. It's sort of a passionate plea to get you involved and to sort of come on board and see what we have to offer. But at this point, I want to hand over to Amber Rose Crossley from Instalcom, who can tell you very much about a specific opportunity that we have at the moment that we're working together on. So I'll hand over to Amber. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kathryn.
Sorry, Amber, can I just interrupt? I apologise. I just wanted to say to everyone that I will be distributing all the links to all of these people you're going to hear from today, and all the websites and everything else, and I'll be emailing them out to everyone after the event. Thank you, Amber. Sorry.
No problem. Thanks, Peter. So Instalcom have just actually started out on our relationship with Thames College Group. Instalcom were recently awarded a contract with Openreach, which is spanning over the next 5 years, and that is for us to connect 1 million homes in the UK with fibre to the premises. So by 2026, every single home in the UK should be connected to fibre directly to the door. Now, obviously, that's a huge recruitment requirement for us as a company in order to be able to meet those needs. So we're looking to onboard a large number of fibre optic engineers. And so what we're doing in collaboration with South Thames College Group is to provide a level 2 telecoms field operative apprenticeship. And this is a really brilliant way for some young people to come in and join into the construction industry. And in particular, we would love to see some females join onto the group. So I did a little bit of research. Somebody might correct me if I'm wrong, but women in construction apparently and trade careers can earn up to 30% more than they would in traditional female dominated roles, so childcare and administration. If I had known about opportunities out in the field when I was selecting my career, it's something that I probably would have chosen more wisely. I brought my brother in recently into the field doing telecoms, fibre optics, and he's already earning well above my salary and with a lot less qualifications. So it's a really good way to get in. That being said, I also understand that 86% of women in construction are in the office-based positions. 13% are those trade people that are out in the field. So if the apprenticeship doesn't sound right for you, also check out the Instalcom Limited website. There are lots of other opportunities on there available to women as well. So, if you've got those team building skills, those transferable skills, working with tools and technology, I would really encourage women to get into a career in construction. It's a brilliant industry to find yourself in. Thank you very much, everybody.
Okay, thank you very much. That's really helpful. Yeah, fantastic opportunities there. Yeah, sounds exciting times. Could I ask Jackie, please, if you could go next, Jackie?
I can. I just wanted to, if I can, I'll just try and share this with you, and I'm not going to run through it all because appreciating time, but I just wanted to bring a few points up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, fine, yeah.
Yeah, so can you see that screen? Because I can't see it.
Yep, we can.
Yeah.
I can.
Okay. So let's just get it properly for you. So I think a lot of people would say, well, why would a woman want to work in construction? It's a very male-dominated industry, and the percentage of females working in the construction industry is very, very small. It's probably no more than about 20%, but that I may be corrected on that by Anna. She's probably got more up-to-date data, but it is a very, very small percentage of females. And when you're looking at jobs available in the industry, I think sometimes some women would say, well, I don't want to do a trade job. And some people will want to, but others would not want to pursue that career. And I think it's important to realise that there is other areas in the industry that are available to everybody. So some of the jobs you might have thought of in the past are the what you might call the typical construction roles that you see out and about, because what you see of construction is the bit that is outside in the hoarding, and you see it's like the public face of construction, if you like, which is the labourers, the site managers, the carpenters, roofers, electricians, and they're the roles that people will always associate as being part of construction. It's a bit like the NHS, when people think that, you know, everybody's a nurse or doctor, but behind the scenes there's an awful lot of other roles, and I don't know whether any of you had ever thought of these type of roles as being part of the industry as well. So I'll tell you a little bit about United Living, but we have teams of lawyers, we have financial teams, we've got business analysts, IT teams, bid writers, a comms and marketing team, HR. So a lot of you might have worked in teams like that in the past in other industries, but not thought of them as something you can transfer across to the construction industry. Our web page has a careers page, and I'm hoping I can get into there for you. And our roles are advertised like this. So we have a jobs page area on our website, and within that there's a job search section. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to search by area or role. I'm just going to do the search, and hopefully you can all see this. But United Living is, we are national. We've got 3 pillars to our business. One is infrastructure, one is new homes, and that's construction that you see built from the ground up. And the other division is property services, and that's when properties are maintained or there is responsive repairs, which is where a resident might ring up and say their window is broken or their boiler's broken and they need an immediate repair. And all of our work is in housing association or local authority. So we have quite a different, unique client group to a lot of our competitors. So we are project management. So I think when you're looking for jobs, it's important to consider that if you're looking to certain companies, they might be what is the project management arm of construction, and they might not be recruiting trade direct. So you would be looking at their supply chain. But if you look at the list here, you can see our roles are national. Most of you are based in London. Our head office is in Swanley, but that's 30 minutes on the train from Victoria. Hello?
Just to say, we only see the slide with the United Group on it, yeah?
Oh, okay, sorry. I'm glad you told me. I didn't realise. Thanks for telling me. Let me go back in. I'm not sure if it's going to let me do it. Can you see that one now? Anna?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Thank you. So these are the types of roles that United Living would recruit direct, and you can see that they're quite, some of them are specialists, some of them are not. So for instance, planning administrators. So we have teams of administrators that are dealing with all sorts of work in our business. We have teams of resident liaison officers who are our first point of contact for the residents. So very much customer service roles. We also have trainee site managers. So we're about to embark on a apprenticeship recruitment. So we'll have about 20 roles, I think. They'll be advertised in the next couple of months, and they will be assistant site managers, QS roles, quantity surveying, and design managers, and they will be apprenticeship roles. There will be some that are based in the south, and what I was saying was our head office is in Swanley, but that is a very easy train journey from Victoria, and it comes out through Bromley South. And so you can see there's lots of different roles involved in our business, but we do also support our supply chain in terms of recruiting. So when we do get all sorts of roles come up, and at the moment we've got some roles for EWI, which is external wall insulators, and that's fairly new roles, because a lot of housing associations and councils are looking at retrofitting properties now, which means making them greener, and that they will be more energy efficient homes. So we have roles for external wall insulation and also some for loft insulators. So again, green skills are going to be very much part of the future for the industry, if that's something that interests you as well. So Peter will have the details of how to contact me if you might be interested in any of these roles. But as I say, don't think, oh, you know, I've got no background in the industry, I'm not going to get in, you know. There's lots of routes in. So we've got operations managers that have come in and started as resident liaison officers, customer service, first point of contact, and they've learned how the site runs, they've learned how a project runs, and they've worked their way, they've moved across from resident liaison officer, became assistant trainee site managers, so on and so on, and they're now ops managers. So there's a lot of career potential, and it is well paid. It's a well paid industry. But it doesn't necessarily advertise itself very well. So I think sometimes you have to dig deep for those roles. But working with Peter, people like Peter and Anna, Women in Construction, that's how you can find out what's available to you. So I hope that's been of a bit of help, just to sort of widen your thinking as well.
Thank you very much, Jackie. That's yeah, that's great. I'm sure that there'll be some people interested. And again, any questions anyone has, you can always email me afterwards, any sort of questions, and I can pass those questions on to the relevant persons to get you some responses. But I will be doing quite a bit of follow-up afterwards anyway. So thank you very much, Jackie.
One thing to Jacqueline and to the women listening to this. Obviously, these are building sites, but they are also, yeah, there's a lot of those roles are dealing with tenants, yeah, which is slightly different to working, yeah, just on a site where it's like where there's a new build site. So those skills that women often bring in terms of communication and being able to kind of work in teams are very well received, yeah, on because it's specifically designed with those clients in mind and residents in mind. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt, Peter.
No, that's fine. It's all, the more information obviously we can get out there, the better. Just to say to everyone as well that when you are considering construction, I know a lot of people have a perception of big, massive construction sites, because that's all a lot of people see is these hoardings, a building comes out of the ground, a lot of noise. But let's not forget there is thousands of domestic builders, one-man bands, two-man bands, you know, 3 or 4 very smaller companies that work in people's homes, housing associations work in people's homes. So there is quite a, you know, there's very much a lot of different industries you can go into. It's not necessarily the big construction sites you can go into. So it's always, there's a lot that people can think about in terms of construction in general. And as I say, there's lots of opportunities. So yeah, thank you. Carole, please, if you could. Thank you.
Hi, as I said before, I'm Carole Cook. I'm MD of Training Recruitment Partnership, which is a long-established independent training provider. So we work in apprenticeships and traineeships primarily. I won't repeat what Jackie and Kathryn have said about sort of general things about women in construction. What I will say is I've been working with sort of large national and multinational construction companies for probably 15 to 20 years now. And the perception that they are not welcoming to women, I would say has changed a lot over the last 10 to 15 years. And if anything, they are going out of their, they always talk to you slightly differently. The tone of their voice changes when they're dealing with women. I have noticed that in construction companies over the years, but their approach to it is very positive now. And a lot of people that I've supported have started off in general roles, like admin roles, like team leading roles, and then moved into things like quantity surveyor roles because they see that they can, and those opportunities exist, and they're welcomed into that environment. There's also a lot of opportunities where facilities management, and I think Jackie mentioned about resident liaison roles, things like that. Facilities management provision has then morphed into construction roles. There are lots of ways of approaching it and getting a foothold in the construction industry. And if anything, the people that I work with who are in key sort of recruitment roles would almost actively encourage more women to apply than men if they could, because they want to get that balance right. So I definitely wouldn't be put off by applying for jobs in construction. And as people have said, even if it's a more generic role, there are lots of routes onwards and upwards. And in terms of how it links to green and refurb and the things that are going on now, if you're talking about opportunities for long-term, well-paid, sustainable jobs, this is definitely a good place to start. I mean, an awful lot, I can't remember what the percentages are, but in terms of London jobs being regenerated over the next few years, the numbers around green skills and construction are huge compared to a lot of other industries. So it's definitely worth a thought. The people that I sort of deal with are in similar roles quite often to Jackie's role, who was speaking earlier, in terms of their awareness of what's going on with their residents, what's going on in the community generally, and they want to help and support people into these roles, whether they're from different ethnic groups or whether it's women, etc. And what we're doing at the moment specifically is putting together some traineeship routes, which in terms of funding can only support people up to the age of 24, but are specifically around construction and green skills. And the sort of beauty, if you like, of a traineeship route is, although that's a short-term opportunity, what it does do is give you a flavour and a feel for if that is the area that you actually do want to work in, if those are the sort of companies that you want to work with. So traineeships are quite a nice sort of taster opportunity to see if this is the sort of thing that's going to suit you and actually sort of get you to where you want to be. So we're, and Peter said, obviously he'll deal with contact details and referrals and so on, but we've got sort of opportunities in terms of construction and green skills traineeships coming up. But we work with construction companies a lot. I mean, several hundred sort of management qualifications in one construction company, for example, to work ranging from team leading right up to people doing the equivalent of master's management qualifications. So there's a real range available once you get your foot in the door. But I do think quite often women are put off about engaging in construction companies. But I've never had a problem in a construction company. That might say more about me than construction companies, I don't know. But actually, I've found construction companies to be very welcoming. It could also be because I know about football, but hey, I don't know. But I do think it's worth giving it a go and keeping an open mind on it. And it can be a very good long-term career move. So that's all I've got to say, really, Peter.
Thank you very much. That's yeah, again, a good insight into what is achievable out there as well. So Hayley, how are you? She's always...
Hello, I'm on the computer, so is my mic working?
Yes, it's fine. Yes, if you want to just introduce yourself, Hayley, and then talk about some of the opportunities you have, that'd be great.
Yeah, so I work just under Kathryn Elliott. I'm based at Carole College. I'm business partnership manager, and you see over my shoulder there is my colleague Charlotte. So we look after all the construction apprenticeships over at Carole College. We do plumbing level 3, gas engineer level 3, electrical level 3, site carpentry level 2. And we also have others in various other fields like the motor vehicle industry and motorcycles as well. We've got a brand new building which Peter come and had a look round. We've got a £10 million technology building, which it speaks for itself really. So if anyone wants to arrange for a visit, please get in touch, and you guys can come down and have a look and meet apprentices and also meet full-time students as well.
Okay, thank you, Hayley. So yeah, again, Hayley, has the apprenticeships available, and then obviously you get the training along with that as well. Now, this is not all about apprenticeships. There is jobs out there. There's different career options in many different areas. So I'm now going to Emily. Did you speak, Emily?
No, I haven't yet. No.
Sorry, I apologise. I'm just going down my list and I've got you in the middle and I've completely bypassed you. 1,000 apologies for that. So, yeah, Emily, if you'd like to say your piece, please. Thank you.
Yeah, so, hi, everyone. So like I say, my name's Emily and I work for Cousins Group. Just to give you a quick background on my career history, I've actually started working for Cousins 9 months ago. Before that, I was actually in the hair and beauty industry for 12 years. So going from a very female dominant industry to then a very male dominant industry. And I can only echo what the other ladies have said here today, is that construction, it can be for everyone. Like Carole said, it is welcoming to females as well. Now, I do have an office-based role, but just even seeing the training opportunities out there in construction, they are endless. I did a very similar job within the hair and beauty industry of training, and I would say there is a lot more variety of training and types of jobs out there in construction. So it is definitely something to look into. What I want to do as well, I want to introduce everyone to Tina. So Tina is a contracts manager here at Cousins, and Tina's just going to talk about her career path at Cousins, because she's been here quite a while as well. So I'll pass over to Tina.
Hi all.
Hi, Tina.
So I started when I was 18. I started for an apprenticeship. I'd done my apprenticeship in Lambeth Construction School. I've been with the company now for 22 years. So from my apprenticeship when I was 18, I passed out when I was 21. I became a foreman for a project just after I had my first child in 2011. From then I've gone up the line to the project manager, and now I'm a contracts manager. I look after about 10 projects. I've currently got 70 guys working for me, and that is a mix of men and women.
Sorry, one second. Sorry, could people make sure you're on mute, please? That'd be really grateful. Thank you. Sorry, carry on, Tina.
No problem. So yeah, I've got 10 jobs, about 70 guys and women working for me at the moment. I take on more women, probably monthly at the moment. They do tend to have a bit more finesse than others, but they work well with the guys. I wouldn't say I've ever struggled with working in the male dominant environment. I find it quite good, quite helpful. The guys are very respectful. We like to take on more apprentices, as many as we can, but trying to find the right people, the people that want to stay, the people that are willing to learn. But yeah, continuously trying to look for new people to start with us.
Exactly. And you guys, if you are interested in any opportunities with us, we are working with Peter on some training and apprenticeships in painting and decorating specifically. We also are looking at the Kickstart scheme as well, so we do have that available to offer. So as Peter has said before, if you guys are interested in anything, he can pass out my email address to you, or if you do have any questions, then just let us know.
Yep.
I have
fantastic.
one quick question.
Yep.
Is that just from particular boroughs, or do you take from across London?
So yeah, we are across London, and we've got predominantly London and the southeast as well. So yeah, there is a wide variety there, but a lot across London.
So you're not too borough specific?
No.
Great.
Yeah, so if I can just touch on that, the painting and decorating. I am working with Cousins. I've been working with them for on previous ventures before, and also we're implementing a training program to start with using the Kickstart scheme, which obviously initially means that people would need to be on universal credit, but we may not get a full cohort out of universal credit. So there'll be opportunities for other people if they're interested in, becoming a painter and decorator. It'll be something like a 6-week course, and then you'll be guaranteed a job at the end of the 6-week course. You'll be paid, and then when you've finished your apprenticeship, normally what Cousins do, Cousins are really good for working with you individually and making sure that, if you like one particular aspect of it, then yeah, they'll do their best to make sure that you're working in that particular area of expertise. So we are going to be doing multiple painting and decorating programs. So there is opportunities there for everyone. But obviously, you have Instalcom here with, a massive agenda of opportunities as well. I do myself have spoken to someone this morning. They'll be looking for 4 apprentices, but they'll be paying the London living wage, which I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to quote it now because I'm not 100% sure at this minute in time. They're looking to appoint 4 apprentices in reactive maintenance. So it'll be in the housing association maintenance field. Now, those opportunities, I'm working with them, but they will be coming available in the next, say, three weeks or so. There's a bit of background work to be done to that. I've also been working with the Federation of Master Builders. They have about 8,000 members that belong to their federation. About 2,000 of those keep saying that they struggle to find the right kind of people to do the work for them. Because it's a totally different industry. You're working for a smaller builder. It's more of a personal kind of relationship rather than a big, massive construction site. And they are looking for lots and lots of opportunities going to be coming out of that. I'm going to be working with them on specifics, but going forward, we will be having a lot of opportunity for people in the domestic sector. One advantage to that is you don't really need a CSCS card. And there is a reactive maintenance apprenticeship that can go along with that. There is also a new apprenticeship being developed specifically for the domestic builder sector. So there is lots of opportunities out there. There's going to be more opportunities coming along, but me personally, I felt that as part of the Constructing South London, our role is to work across the boroughs. And this was a fantastic opportunity. I appreciate the help of Anna and the Women into Construction, but I do believe that, it's lovely to see so many women here. I am taken aback a bit how many women have actually turned up, and it's amazing because one of the things a lot of these companies said, and I think you've heard it quite a lot here today, companies are looking to employ women, but there's just the women just do not seem to be out there. But I do know that the women are out there, and it's up to us to make sure that we're not just having everybody turn up and go, yeah, we've got this, yes, we've got that. We actually need to make sure that what we're saying we've got is actually, correct and appropriate for everybody. So also, please consider other roles in construction as well. There is different roles there is office roles, admin, document controllers, leisure, retail, there's catering, there's management. There is so many different roles in there. So yeah, again, if anybody has any sort of questions, we'll come to you in a second, Emma. Sorry, it's been dragging on a bit. If anybody has any questions, if you want to, you've all got my emails. Please do, do not hesitate to send me an email with a question, or if you're interested in any of the vacancies, please let me know. I will collate all the information from our guests today and distribute those. And yeah, so Emma, sorry, Emma, you've been waiting patiently.
Hi, no worries. Actually, I think I'm trying to be more mindful of perhaps some of the people on screen here don't know what an apprenticeship is, and we're talking like everybody knows what an apprenticeship is, and maybe they don't, and it's that earn while you learn sort of in a nutshell, the nice tagline for that. So it's just making sure that everyone feels comfortable with that term apprenticeship, because when we bandy about new terms of working and ways of working, and there's a thing that makes it sound like you have to be 15 to get on it, we want to dispel those rumours as well, and those myths about it. Regardless of like trying to dispel the myths about construction, let's dispel the myths about getting on an apprenticeship, and why that might be good for you all, to consider something like that. And hopefully you can get a good understanding of it. If we can send you some links just to give you a breakdown of what that really means, and that there are some, actual full paid apprenticeships that go on, as opposed to the ones that you would get where they might be £3.91 an hour if you're aged 16 to 17, etc., etc. So what you might know about it might not be what the current climate looks like. So don't be put off by that word. Apprenticeship, it's a good opportunity, and it's that security there for a period of time over several years to gain a qualification that you might not ever have had, or might not know that you would want, but actually will make you super employable at the end of it once you've spent time learning the trade, learning a business in an industry that you've never had any experience with before. So I'm always really conscious of that. So sorry, I'm bleating on about that. Just, I guess, with some women here, they might be parents. Could you just talk about perhaps some of the flexibilities around working in construction? Are there, aren't there? There was lots of talk, and some of you mentioned about things, Kickstart, that is for 18 to 24-year-olds, opportunities for young people you mentioned, but I can see, sorry ladies, I can see not everybody is young on the call. So what can you do to sort of allay some of the other women's fears on here that you're looking for young people just to join the construction industry? And I'll shut up now.
Okay, sorry, Anna.
I just wondered if we only have 10 minutes and 30 women in the room, if you wanted to give everybody half a minute to just quickly say something about themselves.
Yeah, I'm just going to quickly. I'm just going to quickly say about the age. Apprenticeships are open. There is certain apprenticeships that are for young people, but any role is open to any age. There is no age barrier here. Now, we don't want people thinking because I'm a certain age, I cannot do this job. I've run plenty of programs. I've had plenty of people in their 40s, 50s, even some touching 60 that have actually gone ahead and started work in the construction sector. The age is not a barrier. Yes, there are limitations sometimes to, certain programs, but what we try to do is we do try to say to people, not everybody has to go on apprenticeship. It's not all about apprenticeships. You can actually start a regular job. There is always the options there. Apprenticeships are really good in the sense that you get you'll get that earning while you're learning process. And it's not, I will never personally put anyone into an apprenticeship role that, of any age really, that pays the national apprenticeship wage, which is something like £3.30. I think everybody at the minimum should be national minimum wage, and you can earn your way into earning more money as you go along throughout. But let's not get tied up on all the apprenticeships. It's not all about apprenticeships. There is options to either be, an apprentice or be just a regular person for a job. So yeah, age is not a barrier to anybody. Childcare, the construction, whilst it may not seem very flexible, that's conversations with employers really. Each individual employer is different. I couldn't sit here and honestly say that, no, don't worry, construction will never let someone have part-time work or someone do this. I cannot say that because climates are changing, the industry changes all the time. I think it's an individual employer section where someone might, they might have to do from 8 to, I don't know, 2 or 3 o'clock. I don't know.
It would just has to be individually negotiated, I think. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
I can research it myself, but how many there are or good ones that are South London? Just to, yeah.
Can I jump in for a second?
Yes, of course, of course.
Yeah, so I totally understand where she's coming from. But it depends on the project you're working on, because sometimes it could be North London that they're based, but their project's in Central London. So I've just finished on the King's Cross one, Central London. I'm from Clapham, so it's an easy North London on the underground. So it depends on the location of the project. I don't think you should worry about if they're based in North London. It's knowing where their project is based.
Not the project, the office. Because if you go to the office every day,
no, you
Monday
won't.
to Friday.
I'm a design man. I do design coordination and design management. So I think we're doing. You want to do the same thing as myself? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes. So we're on the site. Most of the work is site. You're site based because you need to be on site to see the work. So if you're working for a main contractor, yes. If you're working for an architect, you won't be on site. You'll be working from their offices. So it depends on what position you're taking as a design manager, whether you're taking from there's architectural route, or it's structural, specialists is from facade. It depends on what route you're going to come in as a design manager. So that's the areas to think about. What specialist I want to do in design manager? A general one? If it's general for main contractor, then yes, you will be on site. They will need you on site for sure. It wouldn't be an office space.
You go from office to site every day.
I'm on site. No, I'm assigned to a site. And I make sure my site is Central or South London.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much for that is, listen, that's answered something I probably couldn't have really answered. I was a bit stuck with that question anyway. But look, if anybody has any information like that, don't be shy coming forward and speaking, because I don't know everything and not everyone does. There'll be a lot on here that I'm not really sure of. So I really do appreciate that, and thank you very much for coming in there. That's great news. So Grace, you've been waiting very patiently, I believe. Where's Grace?
Yes, hi.
Hello.
Hi. I love the meeting, really informative. My thing is, because I've been in hairdressing and I'm changing career now, going into construction, I'm not working at the moment, and how would I go about going on to apprenticeship to do the painting and decorating?
Emily or Tina is probably, I think, Emily, you were the hairdresser, wasn't you?
I am, yes.
Yes.
Yes, great.
Sorry,
yes,
what do I mean you was? Yes, you are the hairdresser. You
background
obviously don't never lose that kind of skill. So yeah.
So Grace, are you on universal credits at the moment?
Yes, I am, and I'm from the Croydon borough.
Brilliant. Okay, so this would be a great opportunity then for us to start to discuss the Kickstart scheme. So as I mentioned before, this is something that we're working with Peter on. So I'm sure after this meeting, Peter, perhaps that you can share some details with Grace on what we're working on.
Yeah, of course.
And then, yeah, Grace, if you could also then provide Peter with your CV, and we can go from there, because like I say, like I was in the hair and beauty industry. I did hairdressing as an apprenticeship also for 12 years. I'm new to construction, but then as Tina, as an example, Tina's been with us 22 years. So it's definitely a spin on its head, but absolutely worth getting into.
Brilliant. The thing is, because I already sent in my CV already, and I filled it online, and I filled out a form where they wanted all my details, my ID and everything. So I've done all that.
But
so
then Kickstart scheme is that?
I'm not too sure.
Kickstart. Let me talk about that one, because I'm from the job centres, so that's our thing. So Kickstart is only available for 18 to 24-year-olds. So Grace, if you're not, then Kickstart won't be an option for you. And actually, how the opportunities are found are through the job centres with your work coach. So they are advertised online by training providers, but you can't access them as an individual. You have to be referred by a work coach, so it isn't something that's open and out there for everyone to use. So I just wanted to clear that up.
For me to join the apprenticeship, would that be?
So yeah, that's definitely something we can look at again as well. So like I said, if you can provide Peter with your details, then that's something I can get in contact about with you, definitely.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I have forgive me again, Rietta, is that right?
Hello, Riette. Yes, thank you very much.
Did I get it right? Did I get it right?
Sort of.
Oh,
yeah.
fair enough.
You got it right the first time. One of the things that's been suggested to me that might help me trying to get some work in a junior position is doing the SMSTS, or is it the SSST, the sort of assistant one? But I'm struggling to find this training. First of all, it's like quite a lot of money. And then I did find a place, so they said, oh, well, you have to have a job to do the training, and then you have to do the training to do the job. And I'm like, well, you know, I've got time. My whole industry's kind of got time. So do you know anywhere I can get the site manager safety training and it not cost a fortune and they actually let me do it?
I do. I'm probably the best person to speak to about that because yeah, no. There's the main thing is, you know, do you hold an SSSTS?
No, I've got a CSCS card.
Yeah. My advice, in all honesty, if you're considering going to sort of an SMSTS route, I would suggest that you did an SSSTS first, because that's the site supervisor safety training scheme, and it's only really because the SMSTS, the site manager one, you have to do a presentation with that as well. Now, the courses are normally over 2 days, and a lot of companies run them over the weekends. They vary from the average price of an SSSTS about £250. The average price of an SMSTS can range, I think, between £450 and £500. You know, depends where you go. There's plenty of places out there to do it, but what you have to consider is, you know, what for me, if you want to spend that kind of money, that's fine. But for me, I would look at the point of, what am I going to get out of holding that SSSTS? Is the SSSTS going to get me a job, or can I find myself some employment first, and then do I need, you know?
Yeah.
Is the job
I know what you're saying, and I've been going down this route for about a year now, trying to, you know, I'm applying for things and people just aren't even replying. Even things that come through women in construction. I think it's I'm too old or whatever, on top of being female, but I do have relevant experience. I've worked on sites in a sort of supervisory capacity, but not as a site manager. I've worked with a site manager because I've been from the design side, so I've been drawing stuff up and supervising how it's, you know, where the walls are going to be and stuff, but I'm not supervising how many bricks or anything like that. But I do have extensive experience in that environment, and I enjoyed working in it, which is why I'm trying to get back to it. So what I'm trying to do really is to convince people that, do you know what, my experience is actually solid. And so it was suggested to me by one of the Women in Construction's mentors that these would be useful qualifications to have. So if you've got any other ideas, training positions or anything else, I'm more than happy to go down that route, because obviously I don't want to spend £500 and then just have letters I still can't do anything with. So yeah, if you've got any suggestions.
Anyone got any suggestions that's here, like Emily, Tina? You know, obviously, I mean, what I can, for me, it's about, you know, there was a question earlier, I believe, or something that came up that said about, you know, how can I get a job if I don't have the experience?
Oh, that was me again. No, that was somebody else. You're right.
Yeah, no, it's about. Sorry, go on, Layla.
The Women into Construction program is one of the best programs you can get onto. You have to be on universal credit, I think, but it's one of the best programs you can get into to get a very broad understanding of the industry. I
did do that last year.
You've done it?
Well, I did. Women in Construction put me in contact with a mentor, and she gave me some advice and revised my CV and everything. And I did that. And the advice was to try for the SMSTS and so on, and obviously to get the CS card first, which I've done, and I actually enjoyed that. It's quite fun. But I'm bogged down because I send my new revised CV off and I don't hear anything back. So I'm a bit, you know, stuck.
Okay, what I suggest, if I can suggest, I'm going to mispronounce your name again.
Don't worry about my name. Carry on and suggest.
If I can suggest that you email me a copy of your CV.
Right.
Okay. Let me have a look through your CV, I'll come back to you and I'll probably do a quick Teams call with you or something, just to have any suggestions. Obviously, I can't do that with every single person, but let me have a look and see what I can, have a look at and see if there's any advice or anything I can help you with and put you in the right direction.
That'd be really kind. Thank you very much.
Not a problem.
Sorry, Peter,
anybody?
sorry,
Yes,
really
sorry,
quickly.
Emily.
I've got another meeting now, so I'm going to hop off. But lovely to meet everyone, and thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Emily. Thank you. Brilliant stuff. Has anybody? I've got Chantel. You have your hand up, Chantel.
Hi, I am absolutely new to all of this and all of this SSCIs and CICs and
welcome to the world of construction. Yes.
I find it all very interesting, and I don't know if it's coming from a very sort of novel place. I love DIY. I recently had an extension done, and I felt like I project managed my extension. My career background is a teacher. I've been teaching for 10 years. I've taught social sciences and health and social care. And I was just wanted to ask, how would I enter into your realm? And I'm a mature person as well.
Being a mature person as far as I'm concerned, is totally irrelevant, if I'm honest with you. Age, I don't, people, I mean, look, I'm going to give away my age now. I'm 57. Okay. I've been in this industry 40 years. I've never considered my age to be a barrier to what I can do. Age is, I've had people doing sort of dry lining courses at the age of 55, hard work and whatever, but it's your own mindset that sometimes it's your own, I believe it's your own thought process about age that prevents you from really going for what you think, am I too old to do that job? You're never too old to do any job as far as I'm concerned, never. As I say, there is some restrictions to certain courses, certain programs or something like that with age because of funding, etc. But yeah, I mean, if you just being here and having an interest into construction, I mean, as I say, there's over 200 roles in construction. We've only touched the surface of it, and I think that there's a lot more to look through. So what I am going to do is I am going to get obviously all the details from today, everybody's contact details, all the job vacancies, all the training opportunities. I will be sending out to everybody, but I'm going to be giving everybody the opportunity to come back to me if they need assistance and help, because depending what borough you're in, I can signpost you to the relevant job brokerage in that particular borough. And I can do that, and make those contacts. So if you're in Wandsworth, Kingston, Richmond, or Croydon, they have a job brokerage service there. Sutton and Merton, I can put you in touch with the relevant people that would, potentially look after you there. But I sit over the central sort of, I don't govern anybody. I centrally sit in the middle that, brings all these boroughs together. So I'm facilitating this kind of process. So, depending what borough you come from, what you're looking for, if you're very uncertain, there's a ton of information out there that can, again, if you want to become a tradesperson, I always say to everybody, young or old, if you are looking at like bricklaying, plastering, carpentry, painting and decorating, roofing, all that type of stuff, get yourself a Screwfix catalogue. You wouldn't believe how informative a Screwfix catalogue is. It costs you no money. But in there, you have every kind of equipment, tools, all the PPE for all the trades, what you need for all of those kind of trades and roles. And it has all the equipment as well. So it's a very useful bit of knowledge. But yeah, feel free to just email me afterwards and I'll see what information I can find and what I can get for you, if you like. So is that okay?
That's fine. Thank you. Much appreciated.
Okay. I have several hands up. I have Grace's hand is still up. Chantel's is up. Lorraine and Emaine. So
I'll take mine down.
Oh, you take yours down. Thank you, Chantel.
I'm going to take mine down as well.
Thank you, Lorraine. So hello. What's going on with my sister? There's lots popping up here. Emaine. Oh no. Yes, Emaine. Can we? Yes,
Hi.
if you'd like to speak. Thank you.
So I just wanted some advice really, because I'm 18.
Yep.
I'm at the point in my life where like I can either go to university and get a qualification or go through the apprenticeship route. I took a gap year and I've like tried to look for apprenticeships this past year, but I haven't had any luck. And also with courses and like stuff like that, majority are like 19 plus, or you have to be under benefits. So that's like a struggle that I've had. So I was thinking, would you recommend going to university and like getting a qualification? Like, would that give me an advantage, or should I continue trying to find an apprenticeship or a different route into it?
Okay, I'm gonna answer a little bit, then I'm gonna ask Tina to come in terms of the paint and decorating, because whilst the paint and decorating scheme is going to use the Kickstart scheme, we may not fill it up, and therefore there's going to be spaces for other people, regardless whether you're on benefits or not and what age it is. What do you have you thought about what you particularly want to do? Is there any kind of area you want to focus on?
Yeah, so I was looking for like quantity surveying, estimating, or like site management, that type of thing.
Okay. Have you done, I mean, obviously you took a gap, so did you leave sort of school and then go on a gap year and have just now sort of come back in to think about what your career would be?
Yeah.
Because
I did business studies. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, I was going to say that Kingston University do the type of roles you're looking for. They actually do apprenticeships. They are sort of 3 to 5 year, but they're actual apprenticeships. They're actual working apprenticeships, and you'll do all your qualifications through the university. So what I can do, I can put you in touch with Kingston University, and you can speak to them, and there may very well be, you know, if he's going to university, but obviously it's going to university under an apprenticeship scheme. And that way you can get your QS and estimating. One of the things we struggle with, I suppose, in this industry is the likes of your sort of quantity surveying, your architecture, those kind of roles are never really sort of funded training wise, or there's not a lot of opportunities for those schemes unless a particular employer has a special need for it and is willing to sort of put, you know, an apprenticeship program or some kind of graduate program through. So, but don't be disheartened by what, you know, please don't be disheartened by what you can't find at the moment. I'll let Tina speak a little bit about, you know, someone as young as yourself as well, because obviously she's been there, and you know, she knows what it's like. So Tina, would you mind saying a few words?
That's fine. So, I mean, you're just exactly like I was. I went to college. I studied something completely different. I went for biology, graphic design, and sports studies, aiming to be a PE teacher. It didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to go. Therefore, I ended up leaving college. And then my dad happened to meet somebody that was working for Cousins at the time, but my dad wasn't working for. And he kind of said, listen, they're doing paint and decorating, go give it a go. It wasn't something I was interested in. I went for the interview. They were a bit dubious at first. I was kind of adamant I'm going to do it, or I'll go somebody else and find the work. It's not a problem. They did take me on. I done the first 6 months. Then I ended up doing a year. I got nominated for Apprentice of the Year for London. I got that. And then just worked my way through. I'm not going to say it was easy, but it was a challenge. I look back at everything I've done and I'm proud of what I've done. The buildings I've worked in are amazing. I've probably gone across London now. But you meet some fantastic people. The amount of other women I've met in construction, sparkies, electricians, plumbers, dry liners. You don't get many of them, but you often meet a few here and there. I wouldn't give up. I'd keep going. If you're adamant about going into something, you should be going and knocking on people's doors, and don't stop until you get an answer. Because if you do, where are you going to end up? Go for what you believe in, because you will get it. It just takes time. I mean, we're in a pandemic at the moment, hopefully coming out the other end of it. So it has been difficult for everybody, but don't give up.
Yeah, I went. Thank you so much.
All right, Chantel, please drop me an email with your details on, And I should have said this earlier, but I will email it to everybody. I'm going to put a small disclaimer in the emails that I send out, just making sure that it's just going to be a little footnote saying, by responding to this email, you agree that we can share your details because of GDPR. If we're going to be sharing your details with employers or training providers, we just need to make sure that you're aware and we have your permissions to do so. So I'll make everybody clear on that. It's a point I did forget to mention earlier on. But yeah, Chantel, please don't give up, and do email me and your details and your CV if you have one. And I say, first of all, I'll forward it to Kingston University and inform them.
Oh, sorry, Pete, you're getting me mixed up. I think you're directing this at Emaine.
Yes,
oh, I beg your pardon. Oh my goodness me.
Yes.
Oh yeah, sorry, Emaine. I do apologise. Sorry, Chantel, and sorry,
That's
Emaine.
okay.
Yes. Emaine, please, yes, I'll go again. Please email me your details and your CV, and I would do my level best to get. I'll definitely be sending it to Kingston University, and then we'll have a look at other avenues. And obviously, I'll be getting loads of details from our guests that we had on today, and we'll look further into that for you. So yeah, apologies once again, but thank you. Lorraine, you have your hand up. Lorraine, where's Lorraine? Hello. Hello, Lorraine.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Right, sorry about that. My question is, I mean, I've worked in education for a long time doing project management, and over the last sort of year or so, I've been trying to obtain work experience, thinking that will be an avenue to go into quantity surveying or project management. I have a degree already, but it's in business studies. So I found out that you can do a master's in conversion in quantity surveying. So I'm opting to do that part-time, but I am looking for a placement, or at least where I can do some work experience. And I'm wondering if you actually have opportunities like that, or even work in or apprenticeship at master's level. The reason why I'm asking is because although you're offering the apprenticeships, because I've worked for a long time and I'm a mature learner, I can't live on an apprenticeship financially. So it's not an option for me. Which is the reason why I'm going off to do my master's, hoping that I might be able to get into a company that might pay a little bit more, because some I see are offering 35, 40, which is what I've been used to. So I feel like there's an obstacle there, because I can't take an apprenticeship unless I go and take a loan in order to live, if you don't understand what I mean.
Yeah, no, I fully understand that. I fully appreciate that. And yes, you're right. Everybody, the one thing, obviously, I think, again, I wish I'd have realised, this would have been brought up earlier, because one of the things people have to consider, apprenticeship or not, people have to consider, can they live on the salaries they're going to be paid, depending on their outlays, depending, whether they live at home or so on and so forth. But I will, again, when I email out, Carole Cook's details will be on there from Training and Partnership Limited. They do the higher level, they do the actual higher level qualifications, and they have jobs normally to go with that. So they'll do level 4s, 5s, and 6s and 7s.
Okay.
I'm not saying there will be, but it's well worth that conversation. It's well worth being in touch with Carole. Then you can put your case forward, or you can talk to her about what opportunities there are to move into this. Now, one of the main things for us doing this kind of work is to get an understanding about where people are at and what they're actually doing, and how we, as the boroughs, etc., how we can work together to try and say, right, okay, we have a dozen people who have a part of a qualification. What do they need to do to become fully qualified? And it's a case of then, I need to sit back and talk to the likes of the training providers, talk to the likes of Emma, with the DWP. Okay, how can we facilitate a sector-based work academy or a training program that we can then supplement for these people who need that extra piece of training to fulfill what they're trying to do. So there's lots of avenues we're working on. There's lots of things we're trying to do, and obviously these events and getting to find out what people do, it works very well. And there's a lot of the people I work with and I'm associated with have so much good information and so many different contacts everywhere as well. So it's also a good networking event, to be there, so to come along and find out. So again, I will be sending an email out, then you can send me your details, CV, etc., a bit about what you're looking for, and then I can forward Carole's details will be there, so you can get in contact with Carole, explain what you're looking for, and she might be able to take you in the right direction. And obviously there is a lot more opportunities out there coming up. It's just at the moment there'll be opportunities tomorrow, there'll be opportunities the next day. We can't drag everything in one go, but I can feed these opportunities in as we go along. I've got everybody's details now, everybody's email address now, and as opportunities come up, I can just, when I send an email out to everyone, I just want to be crystal clear with everyone that as long as you're happy for me to or the team to send out emails with opportunities for training, employment and stuff, then fine. I don't mind doing that and getting the information out there as quick as possible. And the advantages as well is that a lot of times when we're working with employers and contractors, etc., they have a trust built into them that we've sort of developed where people don't have to sort of go in a queue of like 20-30 people for interviews. It's like, if generally we say, okay, this is a really good candidate, this is a good CV, can you please have a look at that? And they'll be looking and go, yeah, okay, no problem, we might want to interview that person. So it's a sort of it's quite a good way that we work. We build those relationships with employers and everybody else. So hopefully that's answered some of your question.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot that comes out of doing all the research is the work is actually work experience, like you said. And I think there's a lot of opportunities out there with the apprenticeships. I think it's a good thing. I mean, I worked in education for over 15 years and I was a program manager. So I know the value of apprenticeships. It's just that I think as a mature learner or a mature person, I think that they need to offer, like you said, there's a bit of a gap whereby if somebody is using transferable skills and say may have a qualification in project management, even though they may not know the industry, there needs to be that bridge to get them to where they need to go. Even if they go in as an assistant, then there should be that opportunity there. And I find at the moment I'm having to go and do a degree in order to say, because this is what's been advised by a few companies, in order to sort of like get my feet through the door, because things like management traineeships are not right, apprenticeships are not right, traineeships are not right. And so it's like a different avenue, really. And I don't mind doing work experience and not getting paid. That's the thing about it, whilst I do my part-time masters, and it's having a company that would give me a couple of hours a week so that I can get the experience. I don't mind doing that, but I don't think that opportunity is there at the moment.
Okay.
For what I can see. So I'm hoping you might be able to help me.
Yeah, no, well, listen, we can't promise anything, but there's plenty of us around. There's a great team that, you've seen the people here today, the speakers and guests. There's a lot of them with a lot of information. They've got a lot of connections. I'm only a small cog in a very big chain, if you like,
I know.
So I sort of, can facilitate these and obviously push the information out to other parties, and hopefully we can all sort of work together. So yeah, again, don't give up. Just keep going. Let's push forward with what we've got, and hopefully, we'll all be able to sort of get on and hopefully look at more opportunities for people as we go along. And again, these kind of events are good to find out, where there is perhaps gaps that we need to look at and hopefully work with other providers and businesses. And there is a lot of businesses out there now that we can sort of go to and say, well, this is the feedback from these meetings we've had. What do you suggest? What opportunities have you got? And there will be a lot of companies out there that are actually, believe it or not, it's called the hidden job market.
Yeah, it's true. I agree.
Yeah, and there is that hidden job market where companies are looking for people, but they just can't be bothered to advertise, or they haven't got the time or inclination or the resources to do that. So it's for us then to, you know, put this out there. So we'll get, you know, I will be putting things on LinkedIn and asking, you know, people for LinkedIn, you know, and I'll be saying, you know, these women are looking for, these are the roles that women are looking for. Is there anything, you know, we can start using a bit of social media presence. That's what it's there for. Let's use it and utilize whatever we have. So yeah. Okay. I'm conscious of time, ladies. So if we can speak to, is it Keshi? Sorry, you're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. My question's focusing around employments that are more parent friendly. I say this because I've witnessed, I've got care in place for myself, it's fine for myself, but I've witnessed where mothers who have taken on roles, let's say a document controller role, and they're not as conscious about timing. So like on site, you have to be there for 8 or 7 o'clock in the morning to 6. And just that friendly, that parent-friendly environment. Even in my role that I took, my last role, which I had to step out of, I had to work from 12 midnight in the night. I wake up, work to 5 o'clock in the morning, get to work for 7 o'clock, and work until 8:30 in the evening on site. And this is because of the fact that they don't have enough staff members in place. So where you're placing parents or mothers or parents, wherever you want to call them, on these sites, are you doing follow-ups to make sure that there's a work-life balance for them, or is it just get them the roles and that's it? They have to now find a way of coordinating with and having that kind of discussions. Those kind of, I don't know, it shouldn't be awkward, but it is. I find that it is awkward conversations with them to understand they know you've got a family in place. They know I have, but they were happy for me to work from midnight. Not that I'm getting paid for it, but because the project requires that amount of work effort.
Well, that's a lot of, I'll tell you what, I admire you, because that's a damn lot of work effort there, I can tell you. Probably not something I would, you know, put myself forward for, but no, you're right. Again, I suppose it's, I can't say for a definite personally myself, yes or a no. I know that, you know, if you take a construction role, generally they're looking at you from 8 o'clock till 6, you know, as a sort of minimum. But I do know that, you know, I had a meeting with someone yesterday, and they were saying their company now is taking with a lot of, you know, a lot of the homeworking that's going on. A lot of companies, I believe, are going to start moving towards, you know, keeping the home working structure. I know it's not ideal, etc., and people have to go to site, but there is more of a view now, I know for a fact, that companies are starting now to look in more, you know, friendlier approaches with, you know, if they want to take, look, let's be fair, if they want to take on women and females because they feel that they need to, then they are going to have to start looking at being that kind of more parent friendly, because, you know, there's going to be a lot of parents out there, and, you know, and I know I've worked with many women before where there has been an issue with, you know, what about childcare, and what about, you know, how can I, you know, is it worth me working? It always comes down to, again, is it worth me working when I have to pay out, you know, a good percentage of my wages in childcare fees, you know, to have that child looked after? It's a very difficult situation. But again, I think it's, I think at the moment it would probably be treated on a sort of individual basis, someone's individual circumstance, you know, presented to an employer. What can the employer do? You know, can the employer sort of say, right, okay, you can do sort of, you know, start at 8, you know, work till 2, go and pick your kid up and come back from 5 till 7 or something. I don't know how that's possible. I really don't. You know, I'm just chucking it out there. It's not, I'm just thinking of all the potential scenarios there could be. But, you know, it really is these conversations with employers, you know, and these kind of questions coming up again, we can then put to the industry and say, you know, what kind of, we're trying, the more we're encouraging women to come into this industry, what are we doing, to encourage more women into the industry? What are we putting in place? Is there a job share? I mean, I've spoken to several big companies now about job sharing opportunities. So part-time work, I get a big question asked a lot. Is there part-time work in construction? Yes, there is part-time work in construction. Without question, there is. It's generally, though, it's normally the sort of around the office-based roles that there's part-time working. Because if you're actually live out on the site, as a carpenter or so-and-so, there is work, that needs to be done within a certain time. So this is where we're looking at, talking about job share opportunities.
I get it. I'm talking about site work where, look, I work on site. I do my site work and I'm still doing work from home. What for? And it's because they know that because I'm desperate as a mother to work in industry, they're taking the piss. Let me just say it like that. They're taking the piss. So they make me do more work hours, not pay me the right amount of money so I can cover the childcare. Is that a normal thing to happen if you want to work on site as a mother?
No.
Because they know that I really want to work within industry, but they take advantage of that and force me to do more work because they're saying yes to client work. They may say deadline's tomorrow and I need a week. Because it's tomorrow, I have to do overtime to meet those deadlines. And because they know that I am a parent and I'm desperate for work, I want to work. I don't want to stay at home. Is that a thing that's happening now in the industry because of COVID?
That's not right. I can quote plenty of companies that wouldn't even consider that. They would not even consider that. They don't. I ain't being funny. I wouldn't want to work for anyone who if someone turned around to me, regardless whether I'm male or female or whatever, and said, "Oh, you're desperate for a job. You're going to do your job during the day, but you're going to do my work in the evening." I'll be like, "No, thanks. I'm not that desperate."
They don't say it. It's the way they do. It's how they power.
I understand that. I'm just sort of saying it in my sort of layman terms, if you like. It's a case of, and I know it's awkward. It is awkward when you're in that situation. It's what do you do? I mean, I'm not gonna go. I can't. I'll have a private conversation with you, but not this one because I am recording some of it. But I will not have the conversation I would have with you in the open like this. There is conversations to be had afterwards. That advice, perhaps, find out circumstances. Maybe put you in touch with different kind of people. I mean, in all honesty, to be honest with you, as I say, I'll catch up with you afterwards and tell you what I would.
Want this part to be in the recording to know that there are parents who want to do work. They really want to work hard in industry, but some companies are not being fair. They're not being fair at all.
And that's the key. That's the key about recording this, is because these questions are relevant to the industry, and it's going to hopefully make people think about what this industry means and why these questions are coming up. So yeah, it's I just think that there is a question to be answered afterwards. Emma.
Nkechi's, I was just saying, Nkechi's sort of like really kind of highlighted the fact that this is an industry that isn't up to date yet with other industries about providing workarounds for people that can work different kinds of hours, the job sharing element, all that sort of thing. So it feels like it's slightly in the Stone Age, it is that man's world. That's the issue about it, isn't it? So the men don't have to stay at home and look after children or have those restrictions because, historically that's what, the woman did. And I appreciate that. I'm generalizing here, but as an industry that is male dominated, they haven't had to consider it. So it is just changing the hearts and minds. And maybe you're working for a bit of a shitty organization.
I couldn't work. It was too much because I saw them try and meet me halfway with everything because I was working really hard for them, and I realized they weren't appreciating my skill sets. So I need to find somewhere else that can definitely value my but thank you.
And I get so it's
sorry, I was just gonna say that
Peter's got other people that are better.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of this kind of forum we're on, sort of thing, these kind of events and stuff. It's not just about, for me, it's not just about, again, us coming and saying, oh, we've got this opportunity, that opportunity, or whatever. It's good to find out what people are looking for, as we did with the big run through, and find out what kind of things, and see how many people are looking for the same. And there's quite a few people on here looking for the same kind of opportunities. you know, and that gives us the opportunity then to go and speak to companies and say, well, we've got, you know, 4 or 5 females looking to become quantity surveyors or looking to become this one, that one, and then whatever. We want to try and, you know, work with you to work some program, make some program up, or how do we, you know, get these people into relevant, you know, opportunities. And that's the thing about all of this kind of event that we have. Yeah. So it's you know, it's key. It's really good, you know, to have these. What's this? Thanks. Kids at home, looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you, Chantel, if you're still here. Enjoy the kids. But right, ladies, I do. Lorraine, have you got anything else to say, or is that your hand up from previous?
That was my hand up from previous.
Oh, okay. Well, look, I must go because I've got another meeting in about 3 minutes' time. I appreciate everything. Thank you, Emma, for staying on. It's fantastic. And thank you, everyone who's been here. I really do appreciate it. And I will do some follow-ups. I'll do a lot more. Just give me a few days and then we'll sort of come back and address some of the points and everything that's been made, okay? All right.
Thank you very much. It's been really helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're more than welcome. Take care. Speak to you soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.